Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I was up because I thought we'd be getting resurrection news, but I haven't been seeing any. No, nothing spoiled or anything. No, nothing in the news. So I don't know if we're getting a second batch of resurrection, or maybe they'll wait until we get the actual banner info tomorrow. I don't know, but we ended up getting limit breaker news, so I was like, okay, I'll end up just doing a video on this today. So let's hop right on in. So the limit breaker quest is going to be dropping on the 31st. It is going to be the hard limit breaker, by the way. So like the one where you get like 400,000 to 500,000 transcendence points. And then for the slot 1, we're going to be getting a hollow speed killer character, a range killer. So obviously that is meant for a replacement or just a alternative for GREMMY in his guild quest. I don't know if it's going to be a guild quest character. Obviously it could, considering when you get all the rules in the breaker quest, even a guild quest character is good enough to clear as it is. So not really too sure, but it will be a speed hollow killer. So, you know, interesting to see what we get. But yeah, we'll have to wait till tomorrow, I guess. Besides that, I don't really know who you can use. Besides, I mean, I guess you could use GREMMY, obviously. Like, you'll get all the bonus. You'll get, because he still has killer effect. Killer effect, range damage times 2, and then he still has an increased chance against the hollow enemies. So he still should do pretty darn well. But I don't know who else besides that. For slot 2, no affiliation technique enemies, power attribute damage times 2, melee damage times 2, and then killer effect times 4. Melee? Oh, yeah. I thought Shinji was ranged. I was going to say that we're getting a Shinji rerun soon, and I assume that this is why for this. And also because I assume his guild quest is coming up. I don't know exactly when, but it should be within the next few weeks, I'd imagine. But yeah, we will be getting the Shinji banner to rerun sometime in like a week or two. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to wait to see how Guild Quest goes with Owetsu and whatnot. It'll be interesting. But besides Shinji, I don't really know who you could use. I figured it would be like a new affiliation character. A new no affiliation character for slot 2, but I doubt it would be the exact same attribute and stuff, so that's why I'm leaning towards just a Shinji rerun. And then for slot 3, human speed and then killer effect times 3. So human killer times 3, a technique. Okay. Quincy Ichigo, I guess? Like, I don't... That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. That's the only character I can think of off the top of my head that is a technique human killer besides Tenjiro, and I don't really think they're going to make us use a NAD unit. Oh, wait, Driscoll, right? Yeah, Driscoll, duh. Wow, I don't have bro, so I forgot he even existed. But let's go in here, and let's see if we can find some alternatives. Also, yes, guys, I pulled Stark. Oh my god, no way. Also, go log in right now, do your free multi. It's not a guaranteed or anything, but yeah. So hollow range killer, and then I mean they can do speed, but I doubt it's gonna be anyone. Yeah, like Segunda third any remake, Okiora, Azashiro, Noel. Like these characters are pretty outdated. Maybe Okiora can do it. Maybe, like he still has good damage, but it's nothing like compared to nowadays. You know, weakening and burn on all of his strong attacks, 40% berserker. He's immune to all status elements. Frenzy 1, bombardment, increased speed, attribute, around card damage, use status, and when affected enemies of 40%. And then he has the SP boost. So I mean, he's just kind of inconsistent. You know, only Frenzy 1, no increased chance, so you know it'll be a bit iffy. But let's take off speed and just look at ranged hollow killers. So now we have a few options. We have GREMMY, who, do I even have to explain it? He is still like one of the best characters in the entire game. He can usually always hold down limit breaker quest. Guild quest, he's still absolutely phenomenal. And then anywhere else, he's still absolutely phenomenal. Paralysis and drain on all of his strong attacks, EX of 30% boost and a debuff. He has 70% Berserker, immune to all status summons. Team Party, Quincy, increased strong attack damage of 20%. Frenzy of 3, Bombardment, increased status summon chance against hollows. Team Party, increased Quincy damage to status and when affected enemies of 30%. So if you use a Quincy in like slot 2 or something, or 3, you're good there. So like if you use Driscoll, you'd be buffing Driscoll as well. Weakened defense, and then he also has the SP boost. So yeah, he does a lot. He does a lot. Also has a really good kit, so that also helps. But if you don't have GREMMY somehow, some way, maybe you're a newer player, who could you use? And realistically, the options drastically go down is all I can say. Like, Raruka is fine. She's a fine ranged hollow killer, but I just don't think she has that oomph. You know, that she only has drain. Which I will say is kind of nice in Limit Breaker Quest, so you can stay at full stamina, you know, if you get hit by, like, the big mobs. She has the enemy defeated bonus. After you defeat 10 enemies, you get 20% Berserker. Defeat 25 enemies, you get 20% full stamina damage. After you defeat 50, you get the Team Party increased strong attack damage of 20%. And then you also have Team Party stamina recovery, so if any of your team takes damage, you can actually heal, which is actually pretty good. 40% Berserker, full stamina of 30%. Frenzy of 2, weakened defense, and an SP boost. So, I mean, like, she's still good, but she's just lacking a few extra multipliers to make her stand out. And then we have characters like Nini. Nini is pretty much only good in Limit Breaker Quest when you have every rule for her imaginable. Otherwise, she can't like stack up her gauge fast enough because she is a gauge character. Like her gauge effect is really good, an extra 100% Berserker, Frenzy +1. But then it's like she has no damage before that, so she doesn't have her gauge going. She just has 0 DPS. Maybe if you have her and she's 5'5", maybe she could clear. But she only has 20% full stamina damage, 40% Berserker, and Frenzy 1. No SP boost, no increased chance to proc status elements as well. Nothing. But I mean, she does have Gauge Rampage, so every single time you get a kill, you increase your gauge meter, which is really nice. But besides that, that is pretty much about it. And then her gauge also has heal, which is really stupid. Just a useless effect, realistically. You kind of just want more damage. But, oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, it's not the best. Not the best is all I can say. As for 8th Anniversary Ichigo, he's not even going to be consistent, which kind of sucks. If the enemies were technique, he might have a chance at being pretty decent. But because he doesn't have the increased chance because they are power enemies, I don't think he's going to be that great. He has no Berserker, only has 20% full stamina damage. He does have Frenzy 3, no SP boost. Oh, I have to wake up. But yeah, if they were technique, like I think he'd be a pretty decent option to use because then he's at least consistent. He can keep like poise breaking the enemies, but since he doesn't, I don't think he's going to do that well, unfortunately. So my GOAT is washed. He will not be used this Limit Breaker. And then like the final character would be maybe Quincy Ichigo. Yeah, he is hollow and human kill. That's what I thought. So I mean, you know, he's decent. Weakening and drain, full stamina 20%, technique attribute recharge for your entire team of 20%, increased technique attribute character strong attack damage of 20%. He has bruiser of 40, berserker of 40%, bruiser of 20, my bad. Frenzy of 2, increased status damage chance against speed attribute enemies, which they're not speed, so that's really gonna suck. And then an SP boost at 80%. So like, yeah, it's basically just GREMMY, I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's be real, GREMMY just stomps everybody here, like, combined. Like, it's insane. So let's go ahead and just take off the ranged. What hollow killers could you possibly use? Can we just go speed hollow killers? Okay, so I mean, you have Kangdu and Isane, and that's pretty much it. Kangdu might be decent, to be honest. Kangdu might actually be decent. The only thing you're not gonna be getting is the range damage, but I mean he's still good. He still has He has freeze on all of his strong attacks. He has a barrier on his SA2, unfortunately. Unfortunately, his gauge effect gives you Sprinter +2 and a Frenzy of 1. Sprinter +2 is completely useless. Innate skills, you know, nothing too crazy there. And then he has 50% Berserker, Frenzy of 2, and an SP boost of 120%. So at least he has the SP boost before you proc your gauge. So that's pretty good. And he has an increased status on a chance against power. So that would actually be really, really good. And then his gauge, when he, you know, when he procs it. Oh yeah, he literally only gets like strong attack recharge and then frenzy of 1. Man, his gauge is not that good. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I mean, if he's all you have, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Hollow. Let's go into slot 2, I guess, because like unless you just raw dog it and go for speed enemies, then it's like, okay, well, like just use your best speed unit, I guess, like Owetsu or Kenpachi or something, just like maybe full Hollow, I don't know, just like your biggest speed character. But like at that point, it's like you're grabbing for straws at that point. But power no affiliation, no affiliation, melee. Who is there? I do have Shinji. I forgot I picked up Shinji. And anyone else here is completely terrible. But Shinji is most likely going to be the best option for it. He has Killer Plus as well, which is going to be nice. 14% recharge. He has Dominate Plus on all of his strong attacks. 80% Berserker. Frenzy +2. Debilitator of 7 seconds. Increased status summon chance against no affiliation enemies. Team Party, increased damage to status and when affected enemies of 20%. Damage to dominated enemies of 100%. Weakened defense, and then the SP boost of 80%. And Poise Break, so you can knock over the big mobs. So yeah, he's gonna do good. He's gonna do well. You guys should have picked him from the free ticket, is all I can say. As far as that, let's take off the melee. Let's just go any of them. And then honestly, they will be technique. You could use 8th Anniversary Ichigo. Like I said before, because the enemies are technique, he has all the damage multipliers except for the melee damage ×2. He could still do well, especially if you have him duped out. And I'm honestly kind of thinking of just saying, you know what, I kind of want to use my GOAT. You know, I want to use my favorite character. So I might end up trying him. Obviously, I'm saying Shinji is better. He's obviously the main pick. But Ichigo is going to be incredibly consistent. He's still my favorite character. And, you know, I kind of want to use him. But, alright. Let's take off power and then go back to melee. Who do we have for just melee no affiliation? No affiliation has some really good characters still. There is Owetsu. I think we've already went over. No, we haven't really went in depth on him, but I feel as though everybody knows what he is. No affiliation, Killer Plus. What is his link? Damage to enemies not affected by an ailment of 40%. So purity. And then his gauge effect is insane. Berserker of 100%. Frenzy of 1. He has the gauge effect of strong attack recharge of 30%. Gauge rampage. Frenzy of 2. Bombardment, but I think his soul one kind of sucks. Increased damage to enemies not affected by an ailment by 140%. Weakened defense. And then Poise Break. So he has no SP boost, but he just has raw damage. He just hits really hard. You know, proc your gauge, and away you go. You're probably going to be slapping people up. It will be a bit awkward, though, obviously, because they are technique attribute enemies, so he will be attribute disadvantage. But, I mean, if you have dupes in him, or, you know, you have no one else, he would be a pretty good option. As for Yuha, I have no hope for this man. He was already not, like, the best beforehand, even when he had, like, pretty much every rule active. But now all he has right here is killer effect and melee damage ×2. They're going to be powered. I mean, I guess they're not going to be disadvantage, but attribute, not advantage. He has weakening. He has the enemy defeated bonus, increased melee damage of 20%, berserker of 40%, devastation of 60%, increased special move of get a second soul bomb at 80 kills. Mind attribute recharge of 20%, strong attack damage of 40%. All status summon resistance, frenzy of 2, weakened defense, and an SP boost. So I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's gonna cook that well. And then like the final character, I mean, I guess I mean, if you're using Uryu, GREMMY, I mean, in slot 1, you can try Uryu. I've seen people use Uryu. He somehow does it every single limit break request whenever people use GREMMY, because GREMMY buffs Quincy's to high heaven. So you could just end up using Uryu. But let's go over White real quick. I had to mention Uryu though, because it's so funny that, I mean, to be fair though, they are technique attribute enemies, so I'm not banking on that, but he's come in clutch before. But White, Soul Reaper, no affiliation killer, lacerate and drain on all of his strong attacks. So he's going to be really good because he'll be able to lacerate the bosses so they can't attack you. And if you do get hit, he has drain. He's 100% immune. Team Party, increased mind attribute character special move damage of 30%. Team Party, increased mind attribute character movement speed of 30%. Frenzy +2, bombardment +1. Increased status summon chance against heart attribute enemies. Ooh, that's gonna suck. Damage to lacerated enemies and damage to drained enemies of 40% and 60%. Weakened defense, and then the SP boost of 80%. If he had an increased chance, I think White would actually be pretty good, but since he's not gonna have the increased chance because they're not heart attribute enemies, I don't think it's gonna go too well. I don't think it's gonna go too well. But obviously, you know, if he's all you have, go for it. And then obviously the final character here would be Uryu. Like I said, you're gonna rely on the gauge. Weaken and drain, really good. Berserker 100%, which is really good. Unfortunately, he has this, but he was the first gauge character, so it's understandable. He has Team Party, increased speed attribute character strong attack damage of 20%. Gauge effect of an extra 30% recharge on your strong attacks. Berserker 20. Frenzy 2, increased status summon chance against power attribute enemies. So, oh, no power, no increase. Uryu's probably washed this one. I can't lie. He's probably washed. No, yikes. So now let's just do, like, at this point though, it's just like you're just doing melee character, like power, like, I don't think it's gonna work too well, is all I can say. Like, like, maybe you can try Senju, maybe, probably not so fun. I think they have guard. She doesn't have guard break. Maybe Mugetsu, and that's about it, realistically. Maybe Basby, I guess, but yeah, you're just grabbing at straws at that point, so let me know down below who you guys are using for this, by the way. Let's go to the final one. I can't think of any other characters to use realistically, but human technique killer. Human technique, and then range and melee don't matter. So as I said, it's Driscoll, Tendro, or Quincy Ichigo. We already went over Quincy Ichigo. Tendro, he's a NAD unit. I don't expect him to be that great. But Driscoll should be pretty good, especially if you're using GREMMY, so you're boosting him. He has Human Killer Plus, Recharge of 14%. He has Lacerate Plus on all of his strong attacks. Plus, he has the superior strong attack on his SA2, which is going to be pretty good. Two-stage charge strong attack, like 5th anniversary Ichigo on his SA3. Enemy defeated bonus. Defeat 20 enemies and you get increased melee damage at 20%. 40 enemies, Berserker 30%. 60 enemies, Devastation 60%. 100 enemies, Devastation of 100%. And then he has 50% Berserker. Rampage at 2%, so every single time you get a kill, you get an extra 2% damage. Frenzy +2, increased status, ailment chance against humans, weakened defense, poise break, and then the SP boost of 80%. So, I mean, yeah, he has some pretty good skills. It's just his strong attack kit is a bit wonky. You're going to have to definitely get used to it. But, I mean, I think he's still going to be a very good unit. But, yeah, let's just take off technique now, because obviously you want the killer, because killer effect times 3. That's realistically the only thing that matters. And then, if you want to replace anyone else, you could use a character like Byakuya. He's absolutely insane. Or maybe Soifon, but they are speed enemies, so I don't know how that's going to go. I feel as though that might be a bit of a hindrance, I might say. Or Balgo. Balgo might be decent. He doesn't have increased chance, I know, but he might be decent. Let's just go over Byakuya, and then I think that that's literally like the only thing I'm gonna talk about because it's already a long enough video. He has Human Killer Plus, recharge of 14%, paralysis and weakening in all of his strong attacks, including his EX skill, which gives you a barrier, which is super nice. Full stamina only, increased strong attack damage of 40%, 60% Berserker, completely immune to all ailments, Frenzy of 2, bombardment, increased status summon chance against humans, Team Party, increased Soul Reaper damage to status and when affected enemies of 30%. If only Shinji was a Soul Reaper. That sucks. Weaken defense, poise break, and then the SP boost of 80%. He's like the second best heart unit in the entire game. He is insanely good. Just keep him at full stamina and away you go. I know it's kind of hard with the human enemies. I get hit multiple times. But once you get the patterns right, he's a lot of fun. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this. Like, unless you want to just go for your like best characters, because realistically that's like the only rule is the killer effect. You could just go for a character like insane damage output, like Quincy Ichigo. Or Quincy Killer Ichigo, this guy right here, or something. But like, at that point, it's just like, yeah, like what else are you gonna do, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below what team you guys are gonna be using. For me personally, I will probably be using GREMMY in slot 1 because I'm skipping this in a month. Slot 2, probably Shinji or 8th Anniversary Ichigo, and then slot 3. I will be using Byakuya because that's pretty much all I have. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and peace out.